Hello, dear friends, parents, children. Today is Teachers' Day. Um, it's a very particular, important day for all the teachers. But to me, I feel like the Teachers' Day should be called as the Humanity Day. Why is that? Because everybody is a teacher. To me, it's like that. Because I feel that my mother was a teacher, my father was a teacher, my brothers were a teacher, and as I grow up, my neighbors were a teacher, and then everybody that I meet in my life, they're all teachers. And as a professional, I'm not a teacher, but some or other way, I feel like I'm a teacher. So I'm not trying to belittle the professional teachers, but they are the best actually because they really teach children for at least 5 to 6 hours in a day, and they were all sitting there and listening to them. So the teaching is one of the best professions. So when I take classes for my students, I take classes for the high school students, and some of them also plus two students and all that, about motivation like that, time management and things like that. So I ask them, what is that you want to become? And mostly when I ask the children who are like in the 7th standard or 8th standard, and they say, most of them, they say they want to become teacher. So I asked them, if you're a doctor, you can also be a teacher, because who teach the doctors? Yeah, they are already were a doctor and they're teaching. Like if you go for an engineering course, who teaches you? They were all engineers, right? They also studied engineering. So the teaching profession is something that is one of the most valuable profession, and in India, the teachers are not that much considered like in the Western countries. Okay, that part of it I don't want to touch now. Now, my question is that when we are teachers, or as I said, when every human being is a teacher, what are you teaching? And when you say a teacher, the other side is the child, yeah, because they are going to be the future of the world. We are actually molding them into a good citizen for the future. So, what are we teaching them? How are we teaching them? They're all very important. So in the schools and all that, now mostly the teacher, they just follow the syllabus, and there are so many children there in the class, and then they just go there and they are really pressurized to complete the syllabus, and then this benefit is not completely imparted to the all the children in the class. See, you can see the backbenches, and we don't have the system in most of the schools in India. I don't know. In some good schools they have that they will be rotating the children. I think now most of the schools are also doing that, but in some of the our village schools and they may not be doing. So the children who are sitting in the front seat, they're always in the front seat, and the children who are sitting in the back seat, they're always in the back seat. And we have a term called as backseaters. And sometimes they have become the entrepreneurs, and then they rule the roost, and they make those the front benches to work for them. Yeah, this is the common things. But when they are doing that, of course, is the making the money is the most important thing. Everybody thinks like that. What education is? Education is I would say that it is the ability to meet the life situations. Whatever the situations come, you must be able to meet them. So we had to look into that. So most of the time I tell my teachers, or even sometimes I go for the training of the teachers, I tell them that you look at a child and don't look at like a child. You look at the child as if he is going to be a doctor. You ask him what you want to become, and he says that I want to become a doctor, I want to become an engineer, I want to become a pilot, I want to become this and that and that. So you look at that child like the child is going to be a doctor, an engineer in the future. So that respect, the feeling of the respect automatically comes, right? Yeah, that's the whole idea actually. Why not? So then you give them the space to grow. Like I used to say, one example is that no, when we were eating some mango, that's very tasty, and I felt like that, just keep that seed. So you go and plant it, and then very near the wall, yeah, and then another one there, another one here, and then because this is a small little seed, yeah, and that needs only that much space there, then it started growing, and then after few years it touched actually the wall, and then it cannot grow anymore. The only way is to break the wall, huh? Who do the breaking? That itself. So as a child we are not seeing the space in the future. We should see their space in the future. Then you really salute them. Yes, yeah. And then the children, I ask the children also, who is your best teacher? And they all say one name, one name. All the students say one name. And some of them may say another name. And they say yes, yes, yes. So that means if they had about five teachers, six teachers, out of them they love or they appreciate one teacher better than others. Why? So I asked them, who is the teacher that you don't like? I mean, and they might say a name of a teacher and they laugh and that. So when I take the classes for the teachers, I ask them, if you are all going to the school or same class, and have you ever seen how the children looks up at you? How do they feel about you? What they think that you must be a better teacher? Yes. So that the teachers are there, and the children, some of the children like them, some of them doesn't like, or most of the children doesn't like. So whose responsibility is that? It is the responsibility of the teachers to be lovable, to be interesting, to be more appreciative. Without appreciation to the children, I don't think that they will really appreciate you either. Yeah, how to appreciate the children? You just look into the children. You see the child who is not performing well in the class. You pay more attention to them. Yeah, after the class is over, if you have few minutes, just call them and near you and test them, hug them and ask them, are you okay? How is your parents? How is your father? How is your mother? And they'll tell you stories that you never expected. I have that experience. Yes, I was also teaching in a high school, teaching English to the students of 9th and 10th plus 2 students. And there were some students, they became so dear to me, not because they are very good in the class, but because they had problems behind them. That is the reason why they cannot perform. They don't have the resources that you are expecting them to have. So are we considering that when a child is not performing well in the class, are we paying special attention to that child or not? Okay, so in our ABC Academy, I'm very proud to say that our teachers are so trained on these kind of things, and every teacher is loved by all the students. And now today we are getting so many calls from some of them. They say the mother will say, "Hello, sir, I am so and so," and I'm trying to say, "Oh, well, yeah, I know you. Yes, yes. What is the child's name?" And they say the child's name, and then that really gives some reflections. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. The child was, yes, yes. How is he now? He's which class? He's in sixth standard. Oh yeah, how is he doing? Yes, sir. We are so happy that his foundation was so strong that you made it. So it all takes how much you give. So, for example, if you just meet their expectation in the class, I'm just talking about the high school and also there it is not that easy for the teachers to take the class and to control the whole class sometimes. But remember one thing, in the future, see now we have artificial intelligence, we have people are going to the space. We have SpaceX, where people will be just traveling to the space very often and then come back, and everybody has gone around the world and now they want to go to the space. These children, when they grow up, they are going to that kind of a scenario in the what we never ever expected. Like in my age, I never expected that I can have a gadget in my hand, can do everything with that. Like sending money, receiving money, and all sort of things, messages anywhere in the world, and everybody is there just a click away. I cannot even imagine. Even there was no television that time. So now think about the children when they are going to grow and how they are going to be. They are going to be very smart, very smart. So how smart we are in the class really depends. See, most of the time the teachers know what they do. They just teach what is there in the syllabus, and they don't have time for anything else because they have family. No, spend some time for learning more things to understand what is the latest information. Nowadays, the children are smarter than the teacher. It is okay. That's good. Yeah. So as a teacher, we also have to be smarter than the child. Now even we learn from the children as well. All the teachers, everybody learn from the children. When they ask you a question, it's a challenge for you to answer it. And sometimes we don't know what to say. It has happened to me. I don't know what to say. And then I had to find something smart way of saying it rather than stand like a fool in front of him. Yeah. So this is what we have to be prepared ourselves a little bit of that. How to take the child into their imaginations, not my imaginations. My imagination is not there much now. My imaginations, I have to see what is going to happen in the future and then imagine. But the child's imagination is already there into the future than before us. So the children are so interesting, so fascinating. Every child, every individual child is a unique creation. Every individual child is a unique creation. So it all depends on how we really handle them. This is something that I just want to share to all the teachers from my experience. Be very smart. Be smart before the children. Love them. Don't, because the child is not performing well. Even now, when I go to some schools like in Kerala and all that, I take classes for the students, and then they say, oh, now it was so boring a class, and then next is so and so teacher going to take the maths, and that is the most boring class, and we don't like that teacher and all. Then I saw one fellow coming with the jeans and with sunglasses, black glasses with a black t-shirt and all that. I was thinking, what is it going to do? Is a magician or what? And then I go and take the class, and then how do I know all that? They write down. I ask them to write down their feelings of the class, the feedback, and they really wrote these things. So as teachers, we are supposed to be extraordinary people. Extraordinary. Because if you're just meeting the expectations of the child, as you're just imparting the whatever is there in the book, is that enough? That's enough for you as a professional, as your job. But next step is there. That means if you are meeting more than their expectations, you are teaching them something that they did not know, that you are teaching them something that is out of their imagination, something that is not what is there in the books. How you get that? That means you expand your knowledge base and your hard work, and you use your talents in speaking. Like you can sing a song in the class, you can make the children in the class, and you're speaking about something, and then you tell them that, okay, why don't you do this, why don't you do that? Get the children, get involved in that. Okay, actually I wanted to speak something else, but it happened to be that since I am also into the shoe of a teacher, I thought I'll just share my experience a little bit. And I feel like maybe I will do more of the little more of the this kind of videos so that everybody can get benefited. Thank you very much.